now we've got the Storm thinking he's a solution to the Beastmaster, and I've seen it fail before.
I have as well. It's their comfort, at least, and it's not something super out of left field, like a TA mid, which we don't see too often. It's not a slaughter carry. It's much more traditional, and it's pure comfort for me from Team Spirit, right? They love Tokyo on the Storm. Collapse plays his Mars that he plays so much. Mira, his most played hero, I think, is the Mirana as well. And Miposhka loves playing these saves. But it is playing into some pretty good stuff from Windstrike. You know, they have these ways to dispel and protect from axes on that Oracle. But Windstrike, they have good ways to be able to protect their heroes as well. This Abaddon pick for me is pretty huge versus that Mirana combo with the Mars. If he's always just in position, even as long as he's inside the Mars ulti, he'll be able to pop his ult, shield off that initiation off of the Gyrocopter or the Beastmaster, and probably just turn the fight. So we'll see if this greedy draft from Spirit does work as Windstrike. They've drafted themselves just a nice stable one that can fight at all moments.
It does seem pretty peculiar, the fact that they picked the Mirana into the Abaddon, but
Yeah.
perhaps it's one of those situations where they're valuing, you know, the fact that it puts some pressure early on the map. Obviously, you know, Pentiment can't be everywhere in the beginning until, you know, those bigger teammates start breaking out. But also the fact that you do have that Moonlight Shadow, right? So a little bit...
Exactly. That's the biggest one I was actually going to touch on, is the invasion plays that you can do with Mirana. Like, you don't have to always just rely on a smoke to be able to get into those Ancients and shut down Beastmaster, because that's going to be the goal, of course. The Moonlight Shadow, I think, is going to be a pretty cool tool for them to put the pressure on and try to invade at the very least. But we'll see. I think this last pick, Underlord, was really good from the side of Windstrike, because it actually solves a lot of the problems of just control. Versus Storm and PA, the pit is quite problematic. And then I see this, you know, this timing where it's like usually this 12 to 15, 12 to 16, where Rosh is going to happen if Beastmaster get Ags. Underlord and Gyro around a Rosh with a Beastmaster. Can Spirit fight that? I think it's going to get to that point, and we'll see if it does, if they're actually able to contest it at all.
I think the other thing that worries me a little bit when you take a look at Windstrike's draft, you talked about the fact you've got that route, right? You've got this big AoE that, you know, Storm can't zip through. Neither can, you know, PA. She can't really move throughout it. And all Beastmaster wants to do is just sit back and toss out those axes. And they found a very eloquent way to sort of deal with this first pick Storm to make it so it's not going to be that easy for him.
Absolutely, yeah. These huge bruisers in the front, and just even the extra heals that comes from the Abaddon. Yeah, in theory, it should be able to protect Rebel, but Spirit overall, I actually have to agree with Brian. Maybe I am not feeling it as much from Windstrike. I do think Spirit overall has shown themselves this season to be a bit of the stronger team, but we'll see how it all progresses. Right now, lane's looking quite good for Spirit.
Bottom lane, Yamich is taking a decent amount of harass here. Don't believe they have that level 2 online for the Oracle just yet, or else that definitely would be a kill, was being able to nuke down with the Purifying Flames. But yeah, we're seeing some skirmishing going back and forth. The other thing you have to remember too in that top lane is the fact that, I think they canceled out the Sal, very nice there. But the fact that you have the classic combination of the Mirana and the Mars, right? It has a lot of setup potential. If you know that they don't have that Aphotic Shield up and running, you can potentially make some sort of, you know, harassment plays or even possibly get a kill.
Yeah, I think for the most part, it's like going on Pantomime. If he's out of position, they can get the kills. Besides that, I think killing the Gyro, that would just be a big mistake from Windstrike, really, if they do let the Gyro get caught out too far forward, as it should just be the Abba. Nice courier kill from Mira.
That little bit of a start there in the lane. Yatoro sitting very low here in bottom. Does have a salve, though, given to him by Miposhka, and he does have a couple wand charges.
Yeah, besides just the, you know, the pit being so effective in the later stages versus Storm and PA, Underlord versus PA in laning phase is also just an excellent matchup. Your base damage is just massive. You can never actually turn onto Underlord and kill him because he's just so tanky. Even though like PA Oracle is a great kill lane, Underlord doesn't care. He has 6 armor.
Cheshire really been looking very nice in the last couple games that we've been watching him.
Yeah, he's improved a lot over the years. He's always been there. You know, we always talk about it. We always make jokes about like the Cheshire Cat teams. They always seem to have it. But top, the arrow will connect, but Panto, he is there.
Yep, he's already just ready to just remove it. And now Mira has to be careful. Does have a couple of these leaps if necessary,
Mira?
although he's very low and just got too greedy there, deciding not to take the leap early.
I think he just really underestimated the silence coming in. I think he wanted to finish off the missile, but gets turned and also bottom.
Yeah, they find the kill over on Yatoro. He was going a little greedy, chasing after Yamich, and he just wasn't able to do it.
They're just playing around stick charges down here is what I'm seeing from Windstrike. They have so many as now
Miposhka?
Miposhka's also dead. Yep.
My goodness, the lanes
Oh,
are going
man.
beautifully for Windstrike.
They just both rushed the wand, right? You're versus PA Oracle. These two heroes are probably the heroes that spam the most in the laning phase out of anybody. They had like, when I last checked on the line, he had like 10 wand charges. So what I think happened was PA went on him, they just turned with stick. You have to be a little more careful on Spirit to do those type of plays. And check those stick charges. Cheshire Cat, the tower.
Yeah, they're trying to
It's
punish this here, but they have to be careful. Again, very difficult to make moves on Cheshire Cat as this Underlord, as he's very, very tanky.
Yeah, Line, one of the better actual just right clickers now that we've seen as a 4 position, just sitting behind, constantly harassing PA. Off to a very good start down here.
Things are lining up very nicely for the side of Windstrike. We'll see if they can continue up with this momentum here.
Yeah, mid, it's been kind of even. Tokyo's getting quite a bit more denies, actually. Very impressive by him. Very comfortable on Storm Spirit, as we know.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
How's our stacks looking? So Beastman, yeah, his board is already chilling, waiting. He's got a triple stack already at the ready. He's going to have a quad stack. So that's going to be some nice enabling for this beast. Self-enabling.
Hey, you know, you want to be a good mid, you got to take care of things yourself sometimes. I mean,
Yep,
showing up,
that's
getting
what- I
your
mean,
own
that's-
wards sometimes, stacking your own camps.
That's why this Beastmaster is just so ridiculous now. And not only do you have a free ward with Hawk to cover if you are getting ganked, but you're also stacking the Ancients for yourself. And it just kind of feels like it's jack of all traits.
Definitely agree with that. I mean, I remember a time when Kips was casting Kips, and she's like, there's literally a flow chart. Is when is Beastmaster a good time to pick? And even back, this is way before, you know, he got all these buffs. It was always a very solid addition to your draft. Whether you need to push a lane, you need an initiator, you needed someone to carry auras. Like, you have all these options, and he's just gotten even better now.
Yeah, BKB piercing disable. Like a boost for your carry. It gives you tower pressure, which in like, you know, we're dating like maybe going back a little far, but back in the day, there was like so little heroes that could actually tower pressure in the same or just enable your whole team to be a tower pressure lineup like Beastmaster. He's like one of the few where it's just like they have no push and then they pick Beast. The team picks Beastmaster. It's like, okay, they have push. It just instantly kind of changes the narrative very quickly.
Yeah, why is there a big aphotic shield over here all by itself? That seems odd. A little bit of a bug there.
I don't have that on my screen.
You don't?
My screen looks
Really?
totally different.
Huh.
Yeah. I actually have a float. We have the floating one together though. I have floating one near Mira.
Excellent. Good. I'm glad that I can share this this feature with you.
The shield for me, it shows on top of Panto, man. As
Okay,
it looks like he's about to get like speared.
You just assume that it's located there anyways, but
Yeah.
so yeah, I do have a disconnect, it looks like. So I'm just gonna wait for that player to reconnect in. But definitely, you know, interested to see how the tempo works out in this game.
Yeah, and I'm interested to see if they can actually ever contest the Ancients. That's one big thing. As soon as Beast hits level 7, like he's gonna walk over there and start farming them very early on. So I'm wondering if they can look for those invasive plays. As Tokyo, he's, like we said, fully enabled. He's got an excellent start, 500 gold over the opposite mid. He's already got his bottle, he's got his 6. So he'll be strong, but he did go for farming build. That's the one thing. We've seen like all of these Storm Spirits now do this because you kind of have to for the lane, so you can actually win it. You go 3 points in Remnant rather than going like the 1-1-4 or the 2-1-2 that we used to see. So we'll make his damage at least to chase out a little bit different how he has to connect with it. But we will see if they can actually go for those invasions. As Rebel, he's starting to farm.
Just a lot of trading in this top lane, a lot of just trying to put some pressure over onto Pantherman, but Dyrachyo's having a pretty nice time up here. He's able to get decent amount of CS, sitting currently second. Oh, we have a big rotation coming out though in the mid lanes. They get the roar off, and they should be able to chain stun up Toronto Tokyo.
An easy one, really. Just Yamich just TPs in and just actually claims the kill. I think they would prefer if Rebel got it, but yeah, the beauty of Lion versus Storm always if you do have a leading stun. Always able to follow up. And again, other thing about Dyrachyo is he did the same thing he did last time on the gyro. He goes for Urn. I really like it. Like, it's actually quite interesting. Last time he didn't get an Urn charge, I think, to like the 30-something minute mark or something, but the stats are valuable.
Yeah.
As top.
Well, there's no Abaddon here, so we do get another pause. But this time around, you know, you can see that they recognize, okay, they don't have the Abaddon, they won't be able to go and, you know, just use the Aphotic Shield and lift off the stun. So this is the time to go.
No Starstorm. I don't think they have the damage to bring him down unless they bring one more. And they are. They're actually bringing Tokyo up here.
Yeah, look at this. The zip up, zip around the corner. Toronto Tokyo, he's mad that he got taken down by that roar, so he's going to just take down Dyrachyo. And the spear to the tower should allow Toronto Tokyo. Oh, no, you got to get in there. You got to get the final hit off there, Toronto Tokyo. You can't just play with your food like that. So Collapse will end up getting the final hit.
I like that move a lot. They weren't going to get the kill on the Gyro if he doesn't go up there, and instead they end up getting a double kill because of his rotation. Very nice from Tokyo, always being super active even if he does die. And now they actually also will have the Arena of Blood if they do want to go for a secondary one if the Gyro doesn't have the Abaddon behind him. And the TP, okay, TP for Abaddon is going to be back up since he did use that one mid to try to help the Beastmaster. He didn't have it to return top quickly.
Collapse has just been so off on these arenas today. It's very unlike him. And the tip on top of it. My goodness.
Yeah, that's very rare to see him missing. I think it was an overzealous go anyway. The Abaddon was going to come back up, so I think it would have actually just maybe gotten them killed if they did chase forward for it. So maybe actually fortunate that he misses this one this time.
Possible. Definitely saw a couple really tough arenas. Those were a little bit closer, though, that time around, but
yeah,
it seems a little off on his signature hero. But Rebel over here, more than happy to just continue to farm up these stacks. It's gonna have a pretty fast Ags, I have a feeling.
Yeah, it does buy the Ogre Axe first instead of the Point Booster, so his mana is a bit more limited than usual. And will he get a Ruin as well, as we will have that one spawning. It's an Arcane bottom. Toronto Tokyo, he TPs. Should be able to claim it as well.
Oh yeah, he wants that.
There we go, nice.
Right, so we've got an Arcane Rune on Toronto Tokyo. I have a feeling that we'll probably see him get a little aggressive again if the opportunity presents itself. Especially because of the way that Lion's just kind of hanging out in that mid lane. Could try to make some sort of a play, but they will group up over in the triangle. And leave the lane open here for Miposhka to take some of that experience and a little bit of farm.
Yeah, support's now battling the mid lane as the mid laners just jungle. Like just getting those level 6s online at a good time. Yamich is very close to his 2 on the line. That should be pretty clutch. They're actually both going to probably hit 6 at the same time, the Oracle and the Lion. So could see some big plays coming out from Miposhka to get a nice save.
Definitely saw them earlier today as well.
Tokyo, yeah, with this Arcane Rune, he's kind of lingering around bottom. Mira.
Oh, there's going to be the root hold into place. Leap forward though
Nice
from
leap.
Mira. Not going to be able to stun up this Mirana.
I love how players tip like that sometimes. It's like, it's a good leap, but like the Lion did all he could. He couldn't get in range of the stun. So it's just like mean. It's just bullying.
It's the mental warfare of it. I mean, all of us have played pubs. We all know what it's like to tilt if, you know. It's worked. We've seen it in the past. Some of the top tier teams will throw out a lot of tips or a lot of voice lines, whatever. Sprays even. I can't argue with the results.
No, you cannot. It's always fun. It's always a good jest anyway.
I don't know about good jest always.
Hey,
but
that's true. At least for us it is.
It is. It's fun as viewers to see it and just imagine like, oh, did you see that? But everything is calming down just a little bit now. We've got the 6 online for the Oracle and the 6 online for Lion. Regen Rune's going to get snapped up here by Rabel.
Tokyo with the Arcane Rune. He wants to punish Cheshire Cat for stepping too far up.
Yeah, and he's got Yatoro with him, so it's a nice quick kill over on Cheshire Cat here in the bottom lane.
Nice. So it looks like they're just going to be playing their own game and just not really thinking about the Beastmaster, not thinking about the invasion at the very least, because I see they're already starting the prep of the Ancient stacks for the PA Battle Fury that'll get online eventually. Yatoro's making these moves not toward the Ancients. He's actually just helping out his side lanes. So that says to me, they have their own way to deal with it. They're not going to just be going straight for Beastmaster, but just enabling their other side cores rather than actually caring about the enemy lineup.
Well, again, this is one of the few teams that has found success in being able to shut down Beastmaster using the Storm. So perhaps that's why they're feeling a bit more confident and why they're not focused quite as hard on the invasion.
Yeah, I know like one of the games I believe they had like the Tidehunter and the Oracle, the double dispels, but they have the Oracle mid.
Have to be careful here. Arrow comes through, does not connect. They get the Pit of Malice off. Toronto Tokyo will just zip away and they'll force out the teleports.
Makes Makes our Yatoro quite happy. PA knows that there's going to be no pressure onto him for quite some time until at least that Beastmaster Ags comes out, and he's got the third component in a second. So it will come out pretty early on, and it's going to have to... I think it really is going to get to that point of, like, Spirit fighting around Rosh. Can they fight around that Rosh when the Ags comes out, when there's a gyro blanketing it and a firestorm and all that? It's going to be an interesting one.
Is this our new Beastmaster cam? I just realized that it's got... yeah, if you look at the top of the cam, it's got the frogs and the axes here. Man, you know we've hit a certain point when now they get their own special cam as we watch them doing stacks.
They need it. It really is just... It's all about that at this point. And he's got a regen rune too, so he's going to be able to finish up that Ags quite soon here after he does these 2 stacks.
So then what is the play here for Windstrike, right? They're hitting a huge power peak, the fact that the Beastmaster is going to be having that Ags online. Do they start looking to put pressure down, or how did they play this now?
I think you could look for like a roar kill, and if you get it, you go straight to Roshan. I think that's really the biggest thing, is you fight around Rosh with your gyrocopter call down. PA does not want to fight, so you're going to be effectively like fighting a 5v4. Like PA, if she shows up, she's just going to die to all the various AoE and stuff like that. And it doesn't look like it'll be easy for Spirit to approach that one, if Windstrike does choose to play around like that. Because that's why I felt like they picked the gyro and the Underlord. It's just to have these humongous big ults and control around that Rosh pit when they inevitably do go for it with the Beastmaster axes.
A nice moment of calm here as we zoom in on the butterflies, the ambient creatures. We don't get to pay attention to those. You know, I know there's a turtle over by one of the spots that Sir Action Slacks always yells at everyone, "Let's get first blood" at. I think he's still there. Did they remove the turtle? I
think he's still there. They made them freeze now too at the pause. They used to move.
Oh yeah, I didn't notice that.
The insects even freeze now too in the river. They used to be still like moving around and stuff like that, but no longer. All right, let's go.
Get back into this game.
Cheshire Cat's job is just defend mid tower so that the Beastmaster can finish off. You even see the wards that they've placed out on Windstrike like 5 minutes ago or so, just to cover those 2 side angles as the Rift comes top.
Yeah, it's going up. They're going to try to get this kill on Collapse. There's a lot of people here. All 4, they've got the Pit of Malice just holding them in place, and the burst damage coming out from Dyrachyo is more than enough. But perhaps they can put some pressure on this mid lane in the meanwhile here. So you can see
Yamish instantly TPs. He still has Finger too. He saved it. He didn't waste it up top. He knows he wants to go for the bigger kill, especially on that Storm Spirit if he can.
Oh yeah, because you know that Toronto Tokyo, he's been... Okay, they use the roar over onto Miposhka. And I think, yeah, that arrow unfortunately just goes straight between the 2 of them. But on the very bright side here, looks like Toronto Tokyo is going to be able to grab up an Arcane Rune.
I can't believe Miposhka goes up that hill. Like, you know that this is going to be either warded or hawked at this point in the game from Windstrike. He does it without a smoke. Like, that's just... You're just giving away your life, really.
Cheshire Cat just neatly sidestepping around the arrow. And it feels like Windstrike is very sassy right now with the amount of voice lines and tips that they've been dishing out.
With this type of game, like, Beastmaster just sat there and got his Ancients done. Like, he's got Ags. Gyrocopter wasn't pressured in his side of the jungle either. You have to be feeling pretty good if you are Windstrike. Even though, you know, Spirit, they're playing their own game and they're still good in the net worth and good in everything with the moves they've been making. Windstrike's draft has hit a timing that they wanted without being pressured on the 2 main heroes.
Yeah, I'm very impressed with the way that Windstrike's been playing, because honestly, you and I have cast so many of the Team Spirit games and they look so flawless in those earlier matches that we've seen. But Windstrike's definitely throwing a monkey wrench, or well, an axe perhaps, into their whole plans, because it's just seeming much more difficult. Like, they have their number for sure. So we'll get some wards placed up.
I totally agree. It actually looks like Spirit's playing a much more passive style today than we have from like any of the other games. Sure, the Abaddon this time I think really kind of cripples it all, but they picked the Mirana into the Abaddon, so they have to know what was going to be coming out in these later stages.
Like how Miposhka just doesn't want them to get the D ward on his own ward there, so he goes for the deny. Idea of a TP coming out over in the mid lane. The axe is completed, of course, for Rabel, so might be looking to get a little aggressive as they start pushing the middle lane.
Time to hunt. They're still just farming on Dyrachyo, but we'll see what they look to make. I think like now it's really up to them to make those moves, like force a reaction from Team Spirit. They'll be able to steal a regen rune. That's going to be pretty nice, denying that away from Tokyo. But he still has his Arcane.
Oh, the arrow does connect over into Dyrachyo. I don't think you go anywhere near that, though, right now, if you're Team Spirit. It's a little too scary, considering everything that they'll be throwing at you, lockdown and damage-wise.
Oh, he uses his urn on himself. He actually got salved by a teammate too, so that does waste his only urn charge, but...
I'm sure he's not too concerned about that.
No, definitely not.
Collapses, of course, being that frontliner, trying. Arrow gets tossed out again, won't connect. They'll get the root off in place, though. Collapse, just going to back off. There's no need to go for the dive on this tower just yet. Yatoro also showing up. The zip forward here from Toronto Tokyo. Immediately, though, they'll go use the Moonlight Shadow, and they're already in position here with a nice sentry ward off to the side. They'll be able to keep tabs on various points.
We're definitely seeing the Oracle, the power versus the Beastmaster, though. The Fate's Edict, just the removal of the axes, too, with the Fortune's End, are able to keep these heroes nice and tanky, so Collapse can act as that frontliner, and he also built a hood on Collapse, so just knowing how much damage Gyro, Underlord, as well as that Beastmaster, just the magic that they will be providing in the fights. Windstrike's got to get something out of all this, though. Like, the PA is still getting quite fat. Like, she's not getting pressured at all. She's getting all this farm, so they have to really push the issue forward to get this tower. The scan will come out. Spirit will know exactly where they are.
Well, they are trying to make something happen. They do manage to place down some deep wards as well. Zitaracho is going to be cutting around. You have that little path here. So Mira does have to be a little careful because he's going to run directly into the rest of the team. So yes, they'll find themselves a kill on the Mirana. And that should allow them to go and put pressure over on this mid tower now that they don't have to worry about arrows flying at their heads.
Good angle. Just wrapping through, even though it gets scanned, they get some good, deep, aggressive wards down. And now that Roche, it's on the menu.
I don't know what they can really hope to. Perhaps Storm tries to make a cheeky play, tries to, you know, zip on through. But it's very, very scary when you consider the amount of roots and stuns and all just coming out here from the side of Windstrike. Looks like they're going to put pressure on the top tier 2 instead.
Yeah, they're just going to have to ignore it. Looks like Tokyo's just going to zip the long way down to grab that Arcane Rune bottom, and they're just going to play their own game. It's just going to be, I guess that really is going to be the approach from Spirit in this entirety of it. Is just playing their own way and just avoiding the Beastmaster until PA is ready. We've seen the PA work quite good, right, for V-Tune. I think Na'Vi has shown that sometimes it won't matter what's happening in the whole game. Your PA might just be able to carry anyway.
I was going to ask if you were happy with the fact that Yatoro showed up in that mid lane during all that, because I feel like, I don't think he was ready to fight there, right?
No, I don't think so. I was actually surprised he did too. Maybe he just thought that they would overextend. He might be able to get some cleanup kills, but he needs to just get all the farm as possible, but he still is doing that. You know, 9,400 net worth, still looking good for him.
We do have the Orchid completed now for the Storm Spirit, so the potential for pickoff is looking a little nicer. It's pretty hard, though, to burst down a lot of these guys over on the side of Windstrike. I mean, the big one, obviously, is, you know, perhaps you can get the jump over onto, you know, the Lion. He is pretty squishy. You need +1, though, for pretty much anyone else.
Agreed. There's always this Abaddon just sitting behind people. Right now, look at the Abaddon. He's protecting Yamich because he wants Yamich to finish Blink Dagger, and then Pantomime is going to go play around his Gyro and his Underlord.
All right, well,
but the Underlord maybe gets jumped too early.
Yeah, they're looking for the opening, and they do have the arrow, the lockdown, and everything. So they'll be able to go burst down here over onto Cheshire Cat. They need a little bit more damage, and I'm not sure. Do they have the... Yes, there it is. Leap forward, giving vision, the zip, and they'll be able to remove Cheshire Cat from this bottom lane. You have to be careful. There's a lot of people about to collapse down here on Toronto Tokyo. They want pressure, so he is going to teleport out. Easy peasy. Everybody just leaves. They don't want to have to deal with Windstrike.
That was close too. If like Tokyo doesn't have an Arcane Rune, I don't think he has the mana to be able to go for the kill, because Underlord actually had his hood and his pipe locked. So he got the hood active, and then he unlocked the pipe and did the pipe as well. Actually ends up almost surviving when his team arrives, but not quite.
Definitely was close. There is a double damage rune, though, available top here for Yatoro. Ooh. That is the dream for every Phantom Assassin.
He has the Deso, too.
Being spotted over in the mid lane. There are plenty of other friends standing behind him. They'll go for the smoke anyways.
Yatoro is a glass cannon right now.
For sure. He has Miposhka, though, right? He's got someone who's going to be able to try to throw out saves should he reach that point, but we'll see. Collapse is going to have to land a nice arena, and we'll have to see a nice initiation also coming out from Storm with that Orchid. But we have the smoke-on-smoke action as well over on the side of Windstrike. They'll go hunting into the triangle.
They're also playing into Aegis still, so it still seems quite tough. Like this Gyrocopter, he's 2-1-1, but he is also quite a beast in the fights. Has the Grove Bow, has his Aghanims finished up now too, so his damage is going to be pretty crazy if he's ignored inside of the fights. It's a lot of target priority problems for Spirit. Like they have to kill Beastmaster, but they also don't want this Gyro to just go out of control. But they also have to watch out for the Abaddon shields. It's going to be a tough fight.
Who's the primary target number 1? Is it still going to be Rebel?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. Pushka having to be a little careful. He's very forward. They would love to just get rid of him very easily. Moonlight Shadow, the Hex. They have the Dust. Immediately trying to save Yatoro. Miposhka running away. And they have a decent amount of damage as they're trying to just continue to push back. But the Roar comes out. They have the Arena. It'll buy them just a little bit of time here as they'll spear over Cheshire Cat into the wall. And it looks like they're going to survive this.
That Oracle, they got to get on top of Miposhka if they're going to go for that type of kill. He just instantly ults, no hesitation, and then blocks out all the magical. 4 points in that Fate's Edict to protect.
Pressure on here in the mid lane. See Toronto Tokyo is just continuing to push out waves, trying to continue to farm up a little bit. Not quite
they need
ready
the
to fight into
BKBs.
this.
Yeah. They need to just buy some time for the PA and the Storm to be able to confidently be able to zip into the back lines, because the pit and just the line control, it's a bit too scary for them still.
Again, they still have that Aegis online too, so it's just very scary to try to go anywhere near this.
And they don't have the same forms of initiative.
Nice save here coming out from Miposhka, almost immediately trying to negate all of that magic damage like we talked about. The root comes out, but it's followed up with another root here from Cheshire Cat.
Can't find a kill though. And we're seeing Collapse's build at least tank him up nicely with that pipe and that medallion, but initiation is really lacking for Team Spirit. They have no real blink daggers, no way to start the fight unless the Storm just beelines in, and that's scary when he doesn't have BKB.
No, he's definitely not ready for that. Yatoro, though, doing the best he can, trying to find any sort of breathing room here to hit creeps, try to pull the creep waves away.
They're doing a good job of finding farm when they are, you know, like behind, quote unquote, in the overall game. They're finding quite a lot on the Storm and the PA playing the side lanes, because most of Windstrike, they have to play together because the way that draft works. So Gyro's Aegis will get reclaimed, but some nice structural damage coming out from Windstrike after they get that tier 2.
I also like this one very deep ward that the Radiant has placed in the Dire jungle. I think that's nice because you keep seeing them trying to wander in and obviously dodge until they get those BKBs, but it gives them a lot of information, right? It gives them a little bit of information about the lane. It gives them a little bit of information also, you know, if anybody teleports in towards that outpost there.
Yeah, it lets the split push constantly happen for Storm and PA, and they just desperately need it until those BKBs are online. And it's close. Tokyo is about to have his finished. Yatoro still a bit of a ways away.
I think the big thing here is Toronto Tokyo, right? That's obviously you want your PA to have the BKB, but the fact that you are lacking in initiation, I think being able to have the BKB on the Storm and allow him to kind of zip on through and create a little bit of chaos in these fights is very, very valuable. Especially right now.
Agreed. Yeah, especially because like if he does have it, he can do some fun plays where he can BKB and he jumps into the back and focuses line, and then Orchids the Abaddon. So they have two different forms of control for the back line and not have to worry about any CC besides a Beastmaster Roar, but he should be covered anyway with that BKB to protect from most of the damage. So yeah, they really need that because they can't take a fight until they do have ways to kill that pesky, or just disrupt that pesky back line of Windstrike.
Definitely feels like the team with the most chaos in the most recent patch tends to be the ones that are really shining in their matches currently.
Yeah.
So if you're able to split the fights, try to focus up on one person in particular, but then shift the focus, it's just so good.
Now they've got a Solar Crest, 2 on the Mars, so still, I mean, initiation is going to be lacking. It's going to be pretty much dependent onto Toronto Tokyo.
I mean, Collapse does have the Blink Dagger queued up. He's working towards it, but yeah, it is a bit difficult this time. And there is the BKB now completed as well for Rebel.
These fights feel like they're going to be really hard for Spirit, even if they are getting away with all this farm. It feels like it's going to have to be like a perfect situation for them inside that fight. I feel like for Windstrike, it's a lot just easier to execute if they just click Gyro BKB. They have the shield to protect him too, and Yamich just focuses onto the Storm, just sits in the back lines. Overall, it does feel like it's going to be a much easier approach for Windstrike, and they have overall map control. So the next Roche probably going to be the biggest one that we look at. They should be able to claim that one pretty easily too.
Arrow tossed in. Smoke, though, over here on Winstrike. They know exactly where they are. Sit up on the high ground. Yamich finding the opening is only going to get caught here by that arena. The call down plus the Moonlight Shadow. They'll be able to blow up Yamich. They'll jump over. It's a nice hold, but Toronto Tokyo again. He's got the BKB. He's got to be careful, though. They're doing a decent amount of damage. Yatoro jumping into the lines, has his own BKB, is trying to just put out enough damage to try to take down Rebel, but it's not quite enough. They cancel it out, though. They turn back around. They want to take this fight. They realize that they're very strong right now. So they go throw down the Pit of Malice over onto Collapse. You can do Toronto Tokyo onto the back lines. He's trying to finish off Duracho, and he just cannot seem to do it. Pantherman has taken a lot of damage already. Toronto Tokyo does eventually get chased down, and somehow the Sabaton still alive, eventually taken down by Miposhka. Rebel falls in Cheshire Cat. They go right back in again. Duracho, oh, he falls, as now Yamich Dataro is just on fire with a triple kill.
Oh my god, and that's a dieback for Yamich too. Yatoro fully cleans up. They chase a little too far for the storm. Yatoro just jumps from target to target with Imp Claw with Deso. He just killed, I mean, he literally just did all the damage in the fight for his team.
That was wild there. Yeah, you can see, and they fought into like a bottleneck for a second. We got really nervous for Toronto Tokyo, but see Yatoro just jumping on the back lines, and it just doesn't seem like he has quite enough damage, right? He's chasing after Rebel this entire time. Cheshire Cat, they end up canceling out that teleport out. And just look at the way Yatoro keeps dodging in, out, back and forth. He has this capability as Toronto Tokyo drawing Duracho away. And then Yatoro jumps back in here, just waiting patiently.
Beautiful resets, like beautiful constant resets from Yatoro, really.
And you know, I talked about it, Fogg. I talked about having that chaos. That was one hell of a chaotic fight. I didn't even see Yatoro on my screen half the time because they were just so split. They're trying to follow, you know, Toronto Tokyo. They're trying to follow Duracho, and then just the ins and outs, back and forth with those skirmishes. Absolutely beautiful coming out from Team Spirit. It's what we need to see from them. Yeah,
and I mean, I was mentioning how like, V-Tune with the PA was able to just make some magic happen. A couple crits from Yatoro in this fight definitely make the magic happen. Like they canceled the Rift because they were so healthy too, right?
Yeah.
That 1200 crit cleave comes into play as soon as they cancel, and it's like, oh man. And then the spear pushes Gyro onto low ground, so he chases Storm. He split from his team. A huge hit, really, from Team Spirit.
And I mean, this Gyro is the one who's putting out the physical damage at this time. Everything else is magical, so if the BKBs are up, it's just not as much of a worry, though. Thinking about going back in here. Collapse. Edging forward. They can see Duracho. He's got the arena. Isn't going to go and pop it immediately. Throw out a dagger. Stun off. Moonlight Shadow comes out the zip forward, though, coming out from Toronto Tokyo as they go and they trap 3 of them inside the arena, and they're just going to town over here on Duracho. They just absolutely slay him now. Rebel with the roar, though, will be able to stun up the PA. It's decided. Cheshire Cat says, we got to get out of here. We got to get out of here fast, guys. Everybody in the Uber right now. We're leaving. And oh my God! They managed to tell Cheshire Cat they take down Collapse. Pantherman and Rebel also falling. It's a team wipe going for the side of Team Spirit.
They've caught their footing. They hit their timings.
Oh my God.
BKB's ready. They kill the Gyro instantly, and now they're gonna get a rush. The game is over for Winstrike. This PA just has way too big, and they get the perfect jump. They kill the Gyro before he can do anything, and my God, look at the damage. 8,400 from PA.
I mean, the roar buys them like this tiny little bit of time, but look at this. Cheshire Cat, he's trying to get everybody in, but there's just too much damage coming out here. Toronto Tokyo zipping.
That was so sick from Miposhka, actually. It's not a save that he used his ult for. I actually didn't see it in the middle of the fight. He used his ult to just purge off the hex of the PA so that she can burst down the Underlord so that they can kill him before he Ubers everyone out. That was actually a heads-up play from Miposhka. That was actually sick.
That's so cool. These little tiny things. Oh my God. All right. Yeah, Yatoro just jumps on Pantherman. Has the fan of knives like we saw in the other matches where it was picked up by V-Tune.
Yep. Just gets it from that second rush. I mean, now they just have like full control. It's 14K gold lead. It's these double BKB timings were hit, and they hit really hard in that last fight, which could have gone either way. That first fight that happened, it was so close to going for Winstrike's favor, but now game fully in control by Spirit.
God, the baiting out of Collapse was just so good too. You know, he keeps edging forward, and they're like, oh, that's weird. You know, maybe he's by himself, or they aren't quite sure what's going on Winstrike until they wait for Toronto Tokyo to just zip right into the back lines. The arena comes up, captures 3.
And it's a different approach, right? It's no Blink Mars. His
Yeah.
build is definitely working, just having that Oracle sitting behind him, constantly putting Fate's Edict to protect first access. That's a really interesting approach from Spirit. It's absolutely one and worked for them this game. As I'm looking at Windstrike, like the posture around the map too. I'm sure they're feeling the same. They're like, oh my god, like what the hell do we do now? Like Gyro versus PA. There's nothing you can do as.
There is absolutely nothing you can do here. My god, that arrow just giving the vision, and Yatoro was ready to go. Jumping in with the fan and knives with big old crits. And now they're just walking high ground. They've got an Aegis, they've got a very strong Phantom Assassin, and they've got a very mobile Storm Spirit. Oh, this arrow gives them a little bit of vision over here on Rebel. Fortification is going to come out. It's going to try to clear up the creep wave, but they're empowering up Yatoro the best that they can here. Tosses out the dagger. He's got the Lotus Orb on him too. Lots of dispels coming out here. Arrow tossed out will just take down the boar.
Another dispel.
They have so many now. Well, looks like
And they're just so safe.
they'll respect it.
They just
They'll
back
back
out. And they can't go for these backline heroes now that they've gotten these like 2 successful fights. Everyone's huge on Spirit. Blink, Aether Lens on Miposhka. Like you said, the Lotus Orb on Mira. They have so many ways to just amplify this PA's power and just defense this as overall as another Scotty picked up. We saw that Scotty picked up from VTune earlier on the PA as well. Seems like it fits really good versus those ranged carries.
Oh, for sure. And this is the Spirit that I think a lot of people were expecting to see today.
Yeah.
Where they just hit that critical item timing and all of a sudden it's go time.
And I feel like every time I see these PAs, they always get Over Destruction as well. As the Deso, Over Destruction, minus armor, etc. The fun. But you know what? I'm happy to see the fun. I'm happy to see all that fun because it's versus Beastmaster Egg, so who cares?
I know, right? We're just all hoping that a Beastmaster loses because we're sick of seeing him in our pubs. We're sick of seeing him in these professional matches. We got to find some sort of way to deal with them. They do have the MKB completed now for the Gyro. Can he survive the initial burst, though, I guess is the question. Arrow tossed out again. Yatoro's just being allowed to do whatever he wants as he blinks away. The zip bin coming out from Toronto Tokyo with the BKB. They follow up again. They grab 3 over here in this arena, but Toronto Tokyo does have to be a little bit careful. He's going to have to dodge around there. Concussion Cat going down the BKB over on Toronto. It doesn't do anything, though, because Yatoro, he has too much physical damage. He grabs down another, and they'll find the kill on Phantom. That's another team wipe. The good game, well played, gets dropped here. It's just too strong here. Yatoro, the rest of the side of Team Spirit, they hit those timings like we said, Fog, and boy, did they bring the hurt.